So today I want to help you love your jobs. Yeah. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you what psychology teaches us, motivates us, and I'm also going to share my own story of how I came to love my job. You see, I have the best job in the world. I make people happy in their jobs. And that involves a lot of traveling and doing seminars and workshops and writing articles and books about how to love your job. But it wasn't always so. When I was 26, 27, I was depressed about my job. So it took some work. Going back, I was a very shy kid. I was very introverted. So I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a lot of Legos. And I read a lot of books. And at age 10, my family decided to move across the country. So I entered a new school at age 10. And I had this farmer's accent. And I was a shy kid. Didn't dare speak to the girls. So I wasn't Mr. Popular at class. But I had my Legos and my books. And you know, one thing leads to the other, and you become an engineer. So at age 26, I graduated from university as an engineer. At that point, I was still shy, and I was actually also immature, and I just wanted to get my career rolling. And let me just ask you here, you know that question when you're a kid, you get the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right, you remember that? Yeah, some of us wanted to be firefighters or fighter pilots or doctors. I wanted to be an accountant or a janitor. So that question is still relevant. So now that you're older, if I ask that question now, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which is now or soon. Think about that. What do you want to be? Just by show of hands, who many really wants like a good, successful career? Well, a good part of the room, yeah. Who wants to be an entrepreneur, start your own business? Also, more than half. Any fighter pilots? Yeah, a few. That's good. That's good. Don't give up the dream. I say, I just wanted a career. I just want to get started. But it was tough times. I landed my first job at City Hall in a service department. We were serving citizens, you know, building permits and stuff, and I was very excited, out to prove something. But it sucked. Not actually the work itself, it was the people. I joined this small team, and it was terrible. Every morning we would meet for coffee. And one of my coworkers would show up at this small coffee talk, which was that into this letter. And it would sound as if the citizens hated us. As if another citizen have moved to our city just to ruin her day. That was what she felt like. It was something like this. Dear Madam or Sir, wada. Okay? I was shocked with this behavior. And as you can guess, it kind of spoiled my mood. In fact, it spoiled the mood of everybody there. So that was the most shitty department I've ever been in. Sometimes my morning was nice, but at 10 o'clock we had our coffee. And then the day was ruined. It was the worst thing ever. After 6 months, they said, you did a good job. We'd like to offer you another 6 months. They only gave me 6 months. And I had to say no, I couldn't stand it. And at this point, I was getting afraid that this is the job market. It really sucks. But I did find another job. That kind of sucked too. It was an IT company. We developed software and websites, and I was doing some software testing. It gets wasted on public projects. So I had to leave. But while I was doing those two projects, something interesting happens. At that first two jobs, that first year and a half, I started volunteering. Because someone told me that if you want to go somewhere in life, you got to make connections. You don't apply for a job in the newspaper, you'll never get it. You got to meet the right people, right? And you got to learn, you got to explore. So they told me about this group, this NGO, and they seemed really excited. So I looked it up, and I called them up, and they said, come to our meeting. The group was called JCI, that used to mean Junior Chamber International. It's a global NGO. They're in most countries. They're in this country. Yay! And I do recommend them, but in fact, you can actually join any group. Like any group where you can use your skills and do volunteer work will mean the world to you, and it did for me. I showed up for the first meeting, and I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what to expect. They looked really cool on the website, describing their project, so I didn't know, how should I dress? So I actually wore a tie. And I walk up to this restaurant, and they're standing outside in the sun having a beer, and I'm thinking, this shy guy, I'm not going to fit in. I don't know anybody. I'm just going to stand in the corner. And walking up there, somebody turns around and say, "Hi, you must be Jan." And they were just so welcoming. And I immediately joined that group. And the group was full of young people. You know, they were skilled, they were dynamic, they were out to prove something, but they weren't satisfied at work. So they could spend their energy here. At our second meeting, I was told that we have this national speaking competition. You get to talk for 5 minutes, and there's judges, and they give you points. And then I found this knot in my stomach forming, scaring me. And I have this rule that whenever I'm scared, I raise my hand before I can change my mind. And so I volunteered for the speaking contest. And now, 1,000 speeches later, here I am. And now that's actually all I do. The organization also taught me to do seminars and workshops, full-day courses, and that skill, combined with my diploma from the university, landed me my career job, my big move. I got a job in human resources in the financial industry. Okay, one of the largest, most prestigious banks in Denmark actually hired me. Not by applying in the newspaper. No, I met the manager at a meeting in our network, and I made a good impression, and he said, "Send me your papers." And I get in front of the line, and I got a job. And I thought, this is it. Finally, my resume is saved. Human resources. And it sucked. This was a very big, old, conservative organization. I was the youngest one there. My boss was twice my age and had been there for 120 years. And it wasn't happening for me. And I've since found out why it wasn't happening for me. You see, if you read psychology, there are like 4 big things that motivate us, things we need. And I didn't get them in my job. I got them at the NGO work, at evenings and in the weekends, but I didn't get them at the job. The first thing we all need. What is the first thing? Anybody know? What do we need? You know, it's to get the motivation. What is it that motivates us? Okay? Yeah, meaning is one of them. Exactly. We need to do something that's meaningful. We need to do something that's meaningful. And also we need to do something where we can really kick ass. It's called mastery. And we need something where we connect with people. It's called relatedness, building relations. And also, and let me pick this one up first. We need autonomy. We need freedom. We need to be our own man or woman and decide how to do our things. But at this huge organization, I was just told what to do. You have to work on this project. Oh, okay. There was some autonomy. I could place the stapler left or right of my keyboard. I could also plan my days, not that bad. But I was just given work. Okay? At night and at weekends, I would go to the NGO work. I would volunteer, and we could do whatever we wanted. Somebody said, let's put on a conference like this one. And we said, yeah, let's do that. And we got corporate sponsors and famous CEO speakers, and it was a blast, and we did it ourselves. But at work, just had to do what I was told. The next thing we need is meaning. We need to feel that what I do here actually matters. Now, the worst thing for a human being is being told to dig a hole only so someone else has the job of filling up the hole. Okay? It needs to make sense, you know. You need to contribute to something. And here I was working on huge systems that I didn't really believe in for people I never got to meet. And it didn't really make any sense to me. But Wednesday night, I could run a project where we would help blind kids get better education through the use of technology. We would feed homeless people together with famous chefs. That had meaning. The third thing is mastery. We need to kick ass. So at my job, I was doing some rather simple things of organizing the internal training in the bank. And after a couple of months, I saw, this kind of sucks. I can improve this. And I had some spare time. So I actually spent 2 months documenting how we do stuff. How do we actually develop and improve these seminars? And who are the people involved? And I came up with a plan, the engineer way, right? I laid out everything, and I had the recommendations. And then I went to my boss and said, look, this is what we're doing. The goal doesn't make sense. We can change this. It's much better. We'll save time. We'll improve quality. And then the boss said, no, sorry. That goal is in my bonus contract. So that can't change. Like, seriously? I just told them that doesn't make sense, and this is how to improve it. And they say, just say no, because I say so. Huh? That's not mastery. That's wasting your time. On weekends, I could fly to Finland, walk on a frozen lake at -40, and that night be the judge in an international speaking contest in a language I didn't understand. Because I was now so rehearsed that I could be the guy who would grade body language, tonality, the use of materials and flip charts and props, and someone else would grade the actual content. They let me do that. And so I got better. You know the 10,000 hour rule? If you want to master something, it takes 10,000 hours. You want to learn to play the piano? Spend 10,000 hours. You want to play tennis? 10,000 hours. Okay. I got a job in HR, human resource. You're supposed to develop people. And I was just staring at a computer. But then after work, I could spend 10,000 hours doing what I loved over the course of 10 years. And the last thing is relatedness. People need to feel they belong. We need to connect with each other. We need friends. At work, I had coworkers. And they were nice. They were kind. They were housebroke. Helpful. That's not enough, I want to dance. I want to laugh. I want to hug. We didn't do that at the bank. Actually, I could use one right now. Anybody? Ah. Thanks, man. Try it out. Come on. Hug the person next to you. Come on. Hug away. Feel it. Yeah? Thanks. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Look at your smiles. That's relatedness, right? Right there. How come our jobs don't provide this? Well, some jobs do. Some jobs do. But if you want a job at a big, old, conservative company, good luck. You want to work in the financial industry? Good. Then here's my advice. Don't work for the largest bank in the country. Find 5 friends and start something in Bitcoin. And be sure to hug each other. Okay? We know this from psychology. I've spent the past decade studying psychology to find out what is it actually that makes us happy at work and what can we do to improve it. And now I've built a company where I get to travel the world and write books and do seminars and give most of it away on happyways.com. And it rocks. And it gives me days like this instead of days like this. One of my favorite comics is Charlie Brown. You know the old Charlie Brown? He's the guy who owns the dog Snoopy. And there's a very old Charlie Brown episode where he's standing like this, looking to the floor, shoulders down, he's kind of sagging. You can just see he's sort of down. And then in walks the girl, Susie. And he doesn't look up, he just says, "This is my depressed stance." It's very important you stand like this when you're depressed. Because if you look up and you straighten your back, then everything starts to look better. And therefore it's important to stand like this when you're depressed. You know, when people love their jobs, you can actually tell from a distance because they radiate it. And we heard earlier that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend time with. And if you find people who love their jobs and they radiate that, it will improve your life. And if it's how you feel, you will improve their lives. Our brains are hardwired to copy emotions. Okay, it's called mirror neurons. So we copy emotions. And we do that to fit in with the group we're in, and so that we communicate at the same level. That means if someone is depressed, I won't be cheerful and share jokes. Instead, I'll be down too. So what do you want to be? Answer that and find the people you want to be with. As I said, I believe I have the most amazing job in the world. And you know what? So can you. Thank you.